everyone, it's Jennifer McCollum from the Parent Teens Club, and I am here today with Claire Cetti. Hi, Claire.
Hi there. Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. Claire is a PCI certified parent coach. Claire does individual coaching, she does group coaching, and also couples coaching. And I'm so excited to get talking with you today, Claire. Tell us how you got into this world of supporting parents of teens.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say I'm a mom of four. I've got 28-year-old, a 21-year-old, 18, and 16. And so I've been through the roads of teenagers right so far. But, really what got me started in this is when I first started having kids, 20 plus years ago, I was the first of my friends to start having children. I was 3,000 miles away from my family at home, which is in Boston. I'm in California. And I, with minimal support, I remember I felt lost. I really questioned every move I made. It was really a very difficult time. And so throughout the years, I was home with my kids for 12 years. And there were some really challenging times in trying to figure out what I was doing. And I started at that point learning how to parent somewhat intuitively, based on, what I felt was right for my family. So, fast forward to, I went back to work and went to work at a health and counseling center at a local college here. And it was there that I started running into parents of these 17-year-olds coming into college. And so recognizing that they also were questioning, what are they doing? They didn't know how to parent their children at this point. What's their role? And I was like, wow, this really is a journey. Like I'm imagining that these parents dropping off their 17-year-olds are seasoned. They got it together, right? But their questions were kind of the same as what mine was when I was first having my children. Between that and the dramatic rise of anxiety and depression and stress that was being noted of the students coming into college, I really took a deeper look at how I was parenting my own kids who are now approaching their teenage years, and wanted to make sure how do I parent them well to set them up well to go off to college and launch. And it was a game changer. And it was there that I really was able to hone in on what I actually coach now for parents of teenagers. And so then that's when I got my PCI certification. And that's kind of how I got into where I'm at. Because we had talked earlier, the idea that parents or people like, oh no, the teenagers, good luck with that, and that really just kind of broke my heart that was the attitude. It didn't need to be that way. While it's not easy, and it is hard, but it doesn't have to be miserable. So that's kind of what I do. I really want to come alongside parents who are trying to come alongside their kids through this transition. So.
That's wonderful, and that you've been through it, and you have teens that you've identified, what you needed to do to raise these teens and can help other parents. So I love that. Mm-hmm. Now, what you're here to talk to us about today, I am so excited to hear what your answers are, because Claire's going to talk to us today about how to stay engaged with a teen that just does not want to be engaged with us. And I know that, I can relate. I know that many other parents that I know can completely relate to this. So Claire's going to walk us through, I think you have 5 steps, right, Claire? That you're going to walk us through, and you're going to just kind of give us a step-by-step of how to engage with our teens that are just pushing us away and don't want to be engaged with us. So let's get right to it and share all this good work with other parents. So the number one thing that you feel we can do as parents that are wanting to stay engaged with their kids that don't want to be engaged with us is?
Just stay calm. Just stay calm. But I'd like to just go back really quick and check on something that you just said, which I think is really interesting. And this is what we all think is we want to be engaged with the children or teenagers who don't want to be engaged with us. Well, in actuality, that's not true. They may appear like they don't want to, but they do. They actually really do want that connection with us. But it comes off that they don't, and that pushback, right? And so that's when we go, oh, they don't want you, but they actually do. And so that's what's really important for us to remember. And that's where that stay calm comes into place, is stay calm. They're pushing back. They maybe they're being kind of sassy. This is where you check yourself. You need to check yourself. What are your trigger points? What Dan Siegel calls staying in the green zone. Like if you're finding yourself triggered, getting into what we call the red zone. Check yourself. Bring yourself back down. Whatever your mantra needs to be. My mantra was and still is, walk with them, Claire. Walk with them. Don't fight them through this. So that's actually a visual that I use with a lot of the parents that I work with, this idea of walking with your child through this transition and instead of fighting with them. And so imagining 2 rows of stepping stones, if you will, next to each other, and stay off the stones, and just walk alongside them. But that requires being calm and doing what we need to do for ourselves and care for ourselves well to be able to have the bandwidth to do that.
Okay, that's excellent. Not easily done, but I think with
No.
practice, it would get easier. So staying calm. What's the second tip you have for us, Claire?
The second one is reducing your words. This is one of those times where less is actually more. We have a tendency as parents to just start talking because we need to get our point across, and this is what you should do, and this is what you shouldn't do, and this is why, and on and on. And as soon as you start doing that, they're not there anymore. They don't. So really, just reducing your words and just don't say so much. You can, not to say that you can't say anything. I mean, that's not what we're trying to say here, but the idea of jumping right in and start talking and getting your point across before letting them have a chance to say what it might even be on their mind, which leads to the next step, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
The
definitely guilty of step 2, so I will work on that. So what is the next step? Step number 3.
Well, the step 2, so step 2 and step 3 are actually kind of in one of the same, but the step 2 is listening. So what we tend to do is jump in and start talking and getting our point across, and this is what you should do, right? But instead, listen first, and reduce your words and listen to what they have to say. And oftentimes they just need to say what they want to say. It's just they need to vent, they need to get it out. What they really don't want us to do is to be jumping in and fixing it for them, telling them what to do and paving the way, if you will. Which, if you think about back to the visual that I'm talking about, walking alongside them, staying off their stones. Okay, so just listen, and then you get the impulse to start jumping in. Stay calm and listen some more, and eventually you can ask questions. Maybe it's like, how can I help you, or do you want me to help you? Or maybe even don't even ask those questions, just continue to listen, because at some point, if they really get to they a lot of times they'll get to a place where they're like, what do you think? And there's an open door for you to start giving them what your thoughts are. But again, that's also going back to that step of reducing your words. Just say what you say and try not to belabor. Because as soon as you start getting into that lecture mode, that's when they shut down. So
I have to say that listening part was really tough for me because we've been talking to our kids and for so many years, and all of a sudden we kind of have to switch and listen more. You've already taught them everything, so listening more was really tough for me, but I can tell you it feels so good. You feel more like you are walking beside your teen, and they're growing into adults, and it does feel really good. I just want to say that having been through that
yeah.
It can feel so much better than just doing all the talking.
Yeah, and I think too it's really hard to watch our children struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our intentions are well-meaning, like they're good, right? When we want to jump in and, oh, no, this or XYZ, or this what you should do, or let me help you with this, and we want to make it better, right? It is hard to watch the challenge and the struggle, but by sitting with them, reducing words and listening, you actually there's a couple of things that happen there. You actually get to hear what's going on, like and then also by letting them walk through it and get to the other side is very empowering for them, because oftentimes those emotions, they just need to get through it and get to the other side. And then when they get to the other side, there's that ability for them to know that they can. And that's a powerful place to be like, wow, I'm really proud of you how you worked that through. But sitting with that discomfort is really hard for us as parents.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
that's what makes it difficult not to jump in. So.
So what is your fourth step?
Well, that empathizing and validating. So, when they are talking, they come home with a friend issue, or maybe they're struggling because they have they've kind of freaked out about the test that they have, or whatever the case may be, just going, wow, like, and just nodding and empathizing, and not to diminish what they're experiencing at this moment, because what they're experiencing this is their world. This is what they're experiencing. So, things like, you can say, oh, it's fine, you're going to be fine, you're going to be great. It's those kind of things can kind of make them feel worse. So, and not to say those are terrible things to say, but empathizing, saying, wow, that sounds really hard, and I understand why you would feel that way. What do you, and you can ask questions out of curiosity. What do you think you should do about that? And giving them the empathy, like I said, empathizing and validating what they're feeling is really powerful. Again, with the reducing of the words and the listening, and maybe just chiming in every now and then, like, I get it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but the point is just to be there with them in that moment.
Mhm. That's
So
beautiful.
empathizing and validating.
That's beautiful. And your last and final tip for us.
The last and final one is one that I did with all of them, and I know that it's made a huge difference in giving them the space to be able to be honest and open with what's going on with them. And sometimes, a lot of times, what we're hearing, that alarm is going off inside of us, like, oh my gosh, like the decisions and the choices, and like, I need to stop them from making this mistake, right? But the fact of the matter is, what the final step is, I really want to encourage parents to let them know that you love them no matter what. And I know we tell our kids all the time that we love them, and we do, but really being able to say, you know what, there's not anything you could say or do that would ever change the way I feel about you. So I need you to know that, because my kids at any point in time have said to me, I don't want you to be mad, I'm afraid to tell you, or that kind of thing. And I'll say, hey, I may not like what you have to say, and I can't promise I'm going to be like real thrilled, right? But know that there's nothing you could say or do that would ever change how I feel about you. I love you. So, and it's just, that is a thing that needs to be repeated. So sometimes then we're like, oh, I know you tell me that all the time, but when the time comes that's really important, I can actually say to them, what do I always say to you? And then because we've said it so many times, then it opens the door for them to say what they want to say. But then that brings us back to that first step, staying calm, like being ready for what you're about to hear, and then going through like reducing your words and listening and empathizing and just sitting with them. Remember, like walking with them as they're going through whatever it is that they're sharing with you.
Those are 5 very powerful steps. Thank you so much, Claire. I just want to summarize that 5 steps again. Stay calm was number 1. Number 2, reduce your words. Number 3 was listen and pause and then listen some more. I like that one. Number 4 is empathize. And number 5 was make sure they know you love them no matter what.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Claire, for sharing that with us. In 20 minutes, you just, I think, could just answer a lot of prayers for parents. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was so enjoyable.
Well, I've got to get you back here, but 20 minutes and look at that, what you can do. Okay, so if parents want to reach out to you, you do group coaching, you do individual coaching, and you do couples coaching. And you had mentioned you're in Santa Barbara, California, that you do in person, but you also do online coaching as well. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can access all the goodness from Claire. you can find Claire on her website, ccparentcoach.com, or on the Parent Teens Club website. You can find her right now, access her website, and read all about, I know that was a short description of how you got into this. You have a beautiful story, and I know a beautiful coaching business. So thank you so much, Claire, for joining us. And I hope you come back and share more of your awesomeness.
Thank you. I'd love to come back, and thank you for having me.
Good. Well, we'll see you soon then. Thanks, Claire. Bye-bye.